Good morning, Morgan. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2032.
Prey is a game that I initially was not extremely excited for, as hard as that may be to believe. My channel is, after all, founded on my love of Arcane Studios and the games they have created under the Bethesda umbrella. As a huge fan of the Dishonored series, I became acquainted with immersive non-linear gameplay and story, both things which Dishonored and Dishonored 2 do very well. Prey is on a different level, however. A perfect blend of the best that science fiction, horror, and action have to offer in a video game. It's one of the best games released this year, and it is slowly becoming one of my favorite games of all time. And this is why. You play as Morgan Yu, a female or male research scientist aboard the immaculate Talos 1 space station. There's just one problem. Everyone on board has been killed by extraterrestrial life forms known as the Typhon. These creatures are the stuff of nightmares, and it is your job to eliminate the threat before it reaches Earth. The story is actually quite good, and it reveals several layers that unravel themselves as you play through the game multiple times. Morgan is a character that is as deep and complex as you want him or her to be, depending on what you find scattered throughout the station, including audio logs and emails which help to flesh out the world of Prey and provide insight into the daily lives of those who worked on the station, including Morgan.
Say you managed to insert human neurons into a Typhon. How will you know it was successful?
The new neural structures would need to mature over a series of actual experiences.
Or simulated ones. What? Simulate the experiences. Calvino. He has... Right, okay, look, it's fascinating, but let's focus on what we know is working. I don't want anyone devoting resources to this.
I can't say I've ever played a game where the main character's complexities are really defined by the player's actions and ideals, and for that, Prey and its story get major bonus points. The other characters that you meet, yes, not everyone is dead on Talos 1, are not quite as interesting, but they still help to flesh out the story and the complexities of Talos 1. The Typhon are intimidating enemies, and at times can be downright frightening. The mimics can turn into any object that isn't nailed down, and will then lie in wait until you happen to walk by, and when you do, they'll jump out and try to tear you to shreds. The phantoms are also appropriately creepy, but no other enemies in the game make my skin crawl as much as the poltergeist and the nightmare. I'm only showing snippets in this video, but play the game for yourself, and then you'll see why my heart drops every time I hear those sound cues. Prey's gameplay is probably the best part about the game in conjunction with the level design. We'll get to that later. Using a wide variety of weapons and abilities, including the same powers used by the Typhon themselves, you fight and explore aboard Talos 1. More so than combat, however, this game is much more about exploration and looking through every nook and cranny on Talos 1. You're constantly rewarded with small story details that expand the world and the narrative in subtle ways. You'll also find caches of loot and crafting materials which can be recycled into raw components that are then used to create weapons, ammo, or even neuromods, the items that allow you to learn new abilities. There are some standard upgrades you can pour skill points into, like hacking, more health and stamina, and more damage with conventional firearms. However, the alien powers are what really make the gameplay shine. Abilities such as Kinetic Blast have more practical applications in combat, but others like Remote Manipulation and Morph feed into exploration in interesting ways. If you're unable to reach a computer, you can use remote manipulation to hack into it from a fair distance away, and Morph allows you to mimic an object and then play with the physics of said object to reach otherwise inaccessible areas. This gameplay loop of using weapons and abilities to explore the station is at the heart of Prey, but none of it would mean anything if Talos 1 itself was not well constructed. Arkane Studios once again proved with Prey that they are the undisputed champions of video game level design. Every area in Talos 1 is open for you to explore, and each section of the station contains multiple pathways to your objectives. Use a series of pipes to sneak past your enemies, find a maintenance hatch to reach a secret area. The freedom of choice to go where you want and when you want is liberating, to say the least. Of course, if you've played Arkane Studios' previous games, you know that this is a core tenet of their approach to game design. Prey is no different, but the open nature of Talos 1 and allowing the player to go anywhere aboard the station as long as they have a means of doing so is exhilarating. Don't even get me started on the exterior of Talos 1. Yes, you can travel outside the station in a zero-G environment, and these moments are chilling and tranquil all at once as you float past loose debris and lifeless corpses. What's just as impressive is that the space station has been crafted with scale in mind, so the size of the station from outside is actually a pretty accurate approximation of how big the station is on the inside. Arkane Studios deserve all kinds of recognition for the achievement of crafting this seamless environment. Running on the CryEngine, this game is very nice to look at, especially if you're running it on a PC, which is the best possible way to experience this game, in my opinion. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet is the art design, which goes for a retro-futuristic Art Deco style that manages to capture the familiarity of BioShock, but also manages to do it differently enough that it feels entirely unique to Prey. There's a lot of gold on just about everything, and I even think one of the patterns you can find on the walls looks suspiciously familiar. However, not every section of the ship has a clean look to it, which allows each section of Talos 1 to feel unique and avoids the issue of repeating the same environment over and over again, even despite the fact that backtracking is part of the gameplay experience. In summation, I think that Prey will be remembered for years to come, and I'm hoping that the conversation around it shows publishers and developers that there is a desire from audiences to see more immersive sims like this. At the head of the charge will be Arkane Studios, who have paved the way for this kind of game to make its glorious return in the modern era. I love Prey, and hopefully this video has shown you some of the reasons why I love this game, and hopefully you'll try it out yourself. Thanks for watching, folks. Be sure to leave some comments letting me know what you think about Prey, and remember that the outsider walks among us.